They say the first thing you should do, and I agree with them, especially when things are getting a little sketchy, is get your hands up, right? And that says a lot about what you're going to do and what they can do, and it also tells people if you want to fight or not. So this is our common get your hands up position. Our hands are like rifle sights, one finger, middle finger in front of the other, and it's protecting our face and our center line. And that's good, except that you feel like a moron. When somebody comes up to you and they're just calling you names and you start doing this, it makes you uncomfortable. It makes most people uncomfortable, and which tends to mean you're not going to do it if you're not comfortable with it. So here's an alternative to getting your hands up, and it accomplishes much the same thing. It's just slightly different. Now we call this the Jack Benny, and Jack Benny was an old radio TV personality, but he would stand like this a lot. And this is a good interview position. You'll probably find you do this a bunch without even noticing you're doing it. So one hand's up, you're just kind of talking with it. The other hand's kind of curved. Maybe it's sitting on here, and you can get your hands up effectively. And it doesn't look as threatening as this, and it doesn't feel as silly as that. But you'll do this all the time. And there's a lot of good things you can do out of it. The first thing, if we take a look at this, when Greg punches really slow, I can parry because my hand's up. That's good. Then I can follow up with something else, and if I want to launch into whatever I want to launch into, you're set from there, right? When he's there, I can parry this, maybe feed that in, and then start going into some of the techniques you might or might not know, right? Is it time for a lock? That's entirely up to you. I don't know one way or the other, right? But when you parry and I hit, there's a good eye shot, right? Pull that down, that's a good elbow hit, right? But the nice thing is if he punches with the left hand, I can do the same thing, that exact same motion that I was doing with the right. One more time. 1, 2, goes to the eyes. He punches with the left hand. 1, 2, goes to the eyes. Now what you do from there is, once again, entirely up to you. With the left, please. So I parry 1, 2. I can, if I want, wrap under and come into this. Maybe when he punches with the left, I go 1, 2, and I hit low, and then this comes over the top, and I go into arm bars, shoulder locks, wrist locks, whatever makes you happy, right? From the same position here, we'll switch to this side. He throws a left hook real slow, right? It's an easy matter to cover and hit. He throws a left hook again. There's my shoulder stop, right? If I wanted to be, if I'm a little more behind the curve, throw it really, really slow, Greg. Throw a left hook again. Wham! There's my cover. That is pretty awful. This is a pretty good thing. If he's just kind of, he bumps me with his chest once, he's like, whoa, and I'm like, whoa, and I get my hands up just doing this. Right? Calm down, relax. It makes it harder for him to do stuff. You know, so if he reaches with his left or right hand because he's going to throw a hook, maybe I just stir it and I move into there. And that's not to say, by the way, when he's doing this, you can't do other things, right? It's also, it presents an issue in that he might just reach out and grab my wrist. Right? Because he's getting ready to punch or do something else. The nice thing about this, I'm set up for a bunch of things. This hand is still free. I can do any number of things. I could parry that if I want. But when he grabs, it's going to help me roll to the outside. So if we switch and he grabs with that hand, right, and I'm here, we call this an inverted same-side wrist grab, a mommy grab. This is what how your mom gets you out of the cereal aisle, right? So if I start here and he grabs 1, 2, 3, oh, it's like as if it was a punch. This sets up any number of cool, whoa, he's there. Trap the finger so he can't run away. Roll your elbow over, flap that down, and it causes a good deal of pain. And we've got a bunch of techniques to deal with it from there. So you'll find that this is a pretty good position to be in, and it gives you a lot of advantages because you're more comfortable with it. And of course, you can always, if he decides, just wait just a little bit, if he decides he's going to throw a punch, I can always poke him in the eye because my hands are just like, calm down. He pulls his hand back, and there you go, right in his eye. This is a good modified version of it too. If we, let's switch sides. Right? A subtle thing you can do with this is when he's here and he throws a big hook, cut up, cut down, and insert that in. Right? So it's a nice surreptitious way to carry a knife if you needed to have a knife open. Because you could walk down the street like this, but you're nuts and probably should get shot. Instead, take the knife, tuck it underneath your arm like this. Right? right? So it's not visible. If we come over on this side now, Greg? Right? So when I'm here, and all of a sudden he throws a hook or reaches, cut up, cut down, insert, pass, cut, and cut that. And so that's a pretty good way to have a knife out. Could be a flashlight, could be a pen, who knows, and be able to use it rapidly. All right, so that's just one option. You could spend a lot of time playing with this and finding all kinds of new ways, and it's a good way to spice up your training. Just add this in. It's a bit more realistic, eye strikes and some other stuff. Okay, thanks for watching.